think Michael Jackson is dead.
And we are live on YouTube. If you
well, I hope. Well, I ain't gonna say that. That ain't very nice. But
you can click on that live on YouTube up there and view stream on YouTube. It'll take you right to the stream. It'll load it right for you. You don't have to type anything in. It takes you right to the screen.
That is cool as it can be. Maybe I might learn how to use this stuff, guys.
Here, baby.
Now, if I have to mute my mic, it's because of Kid Alert, you know.
Yeah, I got to mute my YouTube feed. Hold on. There we go. Then I got to mute my granddaughter.
I actually have it turned off for a change, and I'm not sounding like.
8 people in there already. Carol out of her comfort zone. Victorian Canadian Witch.
Hey, everybody.
Star Barrett. Carol out of her comfort zone. Country Girl. Rockstar fan. Amanda Costas. Nina Landis is in here. 13 people in here. It's growing real quick. Kyoko Rock fans. Guys, Lou Rock can't be with us tonight. He's not feeling well. He's a little under the weather. But we got a replacement. We got the one, the only Mama Rock in the house. And I know that she loves conspiracy theory type stuff. I see Illis Hacker out there. That's my son, Kyle. What's going on, Kyle? Chrissy Boy. Amanda Costas. Yep. Illis Hacker is out there. Kyle's out in the chat, honey. Yeah.
Do you know what I like about tonight's panel?
What's that?
It's all
I'm the only freaking woman up here. I'm always stuck up here with you and Lou.
Do you guys
Some
hear me?
estrogen running through here.
Yeah,
we can hear you, Mama.
Okay. I was just checking because I don't know. I push buttons and I don't know.
Oh, you're loud and clear.
Is Lou in here?
I don't see him yet.
Oh, okay. No, they're praying for him. That's what it is. Thanks, Kyoko.
Hey, Amanda.
He's been under a lot of stress here lately, so I understand.
He doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
He's up all night. And then
editing and all that stuff. Yep.
his room is messed up because of the wall downstairs, so he's been sleeping in the kitchen. Which
sleeping in the
kitchen. That bench is comfortable, but it's still not a bed, you know. That's what I keep telling him.
Right.
He doesn't know it yet, but this pink room is turning a different color, and his butt's coming up here. And I'm going back to my basement.
No, Mama, I don't think you should go back into that basement.
No.
I cleaned it like a white tornado. It smells good and everything down there. I should go down there with a camera and show you guys. It looks like the white. It's Mama Rock clean. Okay.
Mama Rock clean. There you go. There you go.
Okay. He always and I never listen to him. He always tells me, stay out of my room. Blah, 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 blah. Nope. If you can't clean it, I will.
15 people in here watching right now, guys. Share this out. Let's get everybody up in here. We're going to be doing Question Everything tonight with myself, JoJo Walker, Megan's vlog, some photo bombs from OG every once in a while, it looks like. And the Rock family is in the house. Mama Rock is here.
Hey, Carol, how are you doing?
We've been trying to get Mama on. Yeah.
Maker, okay.
The Rock Maker, Lou Breaker. There you go.
There you go.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Nostalgic Angel Ashley is in here.
My stomach is feeling a little icky.
So maybe there's something going around in your house.
Could be.
Well, I know there's a stomach bug going around here, too.
Yeah, funny. I had a funny tummy last night as well.
So what are you guys thinking about the whole, okay, so I don't know if you could call it a conspiracy or not, but YouTube's been doing a lot of like strange things here. Like every time I go live, I have to replace mods. Every time I go live, you know, like I went live the other day and it doesn't accurately show my sub count anymore. They're hiding your sub count.
Yeah, they're doing all kinds of crap. I think it's time to search for a new platform. I really do. I'm some of the bigger channels are using D Live now. You know, they're sick of the bull crap.
Which is, it's good and all, but I mean, you think about all the time and the work that you've put into this platform, right?
Oh, it's true. It's true. And to start all over, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And isn't D Live only live streaming? Can you post videos there as well?
I'm not sure. I have no clue. I really
See, like,
hadn't signed into it today for the very first time and really didn't even check anything out. You know.
yeah, I think for live streaming purposes, I mean, if you're just somebody that's just a live streamer, then I think, you know, D Live is probably a good way to go. But if you're somebody who creates videos,
come on, somebody come up with a new platform, invent one.
Right.
Very good. Go play.
Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Come here.
The perks of being a grandparent.
Honestly, I think they're just hiding all that because
they
really just don't want channels to grow. That's all that it is.
And now they're actively starting purging again, from what I'm hearing. Now, I haven't gotten purged.
I didn't get purged either.
But other people are saying they've lost 30 subs here, 20 subs there in the last week. You know.
Well, maybe ours will happen tomorrow, Ghost. You know how it goes.
Well, the other thing that they're doing now is when you get a new sub, it doesn't even register till the next day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's taking the same amount of. It's taking the same amount of time.
How do I mute this mic, guys?
Bottom left.
Bottom left of the screen.
The microphone.
And just click on the microphone where it says mute.
Okay, I may have to do that from time to time.
That's fine. I've had to do that at times too.
All right, I'll be.
Did you find it? Bottom left. Yeah.
All right, I did. I found it.
I don't know about purge, but I gained. Does that count?
I've gained this week too, but you know that maybe that's just a testimony that you know your channel is doing something right.
I gained.
You know, you're not.
Also.
Well, you're not doing the sub for sub.
Brian just hit 27. 27.1.
27.1, yeah.
No.
I gained 80 subscribers in the last month, and I haven't really done much, to be honest.
According to my analytics, it's 50 plus.
No, not with that on your head.
Hey, Mama Rock.
But now, this time last year is when the big purge went down. And I know channels that lost like 30,000 subscribers overnight. That was October 18th last year.
Somebody's saying, yeah, it's mostly the gaming channels that are being purged.
I don't know. I know live streamers have gotten purged too.
But you know, there was a time that when I go live, my notifications don't always go out, number one. And number two, there was a time, every time I went live, I would lose subscribers. And I don't think that's coincidental that every single time I go live, I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know.
You're still muted, Mama.
Like last week, I was having that problem. Every time I turned and opened up my YouTube, I would be missing 2, 3, 4, 5 subscribers. I'm like, what's going on? You know, I'm not really affected by that because, like I said, all I've been so far is just a support for Lou. I've really done too much. I'm just starting now to do stuff with him on a regular basis. And then I'm a chicken crapper, you know, I'm scared of certain things.
Now, are you going to be revamping your FAMS talk and doing that?
I am. I've been working on that. I actually think I'm going to change the title of it and come up. I've been hashing some things around. I'm not sure yet, but if not, I will come back with the FAMS talk. I just want to revamp it. I want something different. It was kind of getting monotonous, you know, really like a chore instead of fun. And so I bowed out when the kids took their summer vacation, and I've actually been working on stuff and actually videos. I have 2 others to come up behind this one but it takes me a lot longer to do this than it does live.
Hey, Virginia Wolf. This
So
is one of my
as
favorite
far as
shows.
YouTube being part of a conspiracy, I think they have a plan to get rid of the little YouTubers. That's what it feels.
Mhm.
Well, I think in the overall conspiracy behind it, it stems back to, they want to be like Netflix or Hulu or, one of those channels that people pay to watch certain channels. And
Yeah, well, they have their paid channel.
yeah,
Yeah, they
well,
have
that's
their
where it's
premium.
going. They've got the paid channel, they've got the music channel, they've got the kids channel now, they've got, all this other stuff. And they're really tightening up.
You name it, and they're trying to get in on it,
Yeah, they're trying to cash in.
But there's so much censorship, and that's what really sucks.
Well, see,
Right.
and I agree, but I don't agree because I was watching a mukbang channel today, okay? And I went back and I went to the about section to see how long she had been on because she's got like 2.1 million subscribers. She's only been on for the last 2 years.
Wow.
And I was like, what the hell? And even her content was all over the place. Her content was all over the place until
It's kind of hard to
late
believe that, though.
2017, 2018. That's what it says in her about section.
Yep.
Yeah, but you know what I say to that? In 2 years, okay, my kid has been working for 3 hard years on his channel. All right.
Oh, yeah.
And if anybody deserves a million,
Mhm.
hours and the devotion that he puts into this, it's like around the clock. All right.
Mhm.
And for the fact that they still have channels out there where they can buy subs and
Ugh. Yeah.
all this stuff,
But the thing is if she was buying subs.
yeah, but if she waited
would
until
get
after
more
she was
views.
monetized to do it.
No, because they do a review at 100,000.
Wow.
So if she was buying subs to this day, she would have been caught by now.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, Mama.
But the thing is like the channels that put the time and the effort and all, and I'm not saying that the other channels don't, okay, but the channels that do aren't getting recognized as much because they're having to claw their way up. But then you get like these mukbang channels or ASMR channels, and they're skyrocketing.
Right. And there's the gaming channels too are doing the same thing.
Brian wanted me to tell you he said hi.
Hi, Brian.
Helen
I,
Miller says hi.
I myself have been on YouTube since 2008, 2011. I can't remember which one. I had 2. And I wasn't doing anything on my channel. I would go on there and watch everybody else, watch videos, watch music, play music all day while I was working or cleaning or whatever. But I never used YouTube for what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And I'm a chicken. I hate going on by myself.
Well, and one of the things that YouTube has done in the last, say, year and a half is they changed the amount that you get paid for your ads.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can be a larger channel and not make that much money on YouTube.
And that is the truth, okay? Because if you ask me, my kid deserves to make a lot of money. And what he brings home every month on the 21st of the month is just like as quick as he gets it. You know what I mean? It's just
Well, and like
all that.
I've looked at the Social Blade for like James the Fam and Omar, and they're not getting paid nearly what they should for the subs that they have.
Oh, I know. You know,
That mukbang
James
channel.
actually said that.
That mukbang channel I mentioned, she's making anywhere from 7,000 to 90,000 a month.
Yeah, that's.
I know
look
people
at
that have.
Omar, I was sitting in one of his lives last night, and he had 8,000 people watching.
I know people that had under 10,000 subscribers, and before they did the changes, they were making around 300 to 350 a month just in their like AdSense.
Yeah.
And then after the changes, they're barely able to make their $100 threshold.
That's
If it wasn't for the super chats on their
not
channel,
worth it. Unless you really love what you're doing, it's making it so not worth it.
right?
Oh, I mean, you think of if you're working a regular job, you're making a wage. This way here, you're on a whim. If they decide that you don't have enough of whatever they want, you don't make nothing.
Right.
You know? Or if they put these short little one commercial here and one there in the beginning and the end, you're still not making much, even on the advertisement. So
Well, and that's the other end of the coin. As soon as you go live, they put you into that yellow category that your content is not suitable for most sponsors.
yeah, and you know, a lot of the paranormal channels have to fight their way up because
And then you can't ask for a review until you're actually finished live streaming. And then it goes into review, and then it might get monetized and you can add more commercials to it. But then you're only catching the revenue off the playbacks. You're not catching it off of the live stream where everybody was in there.
Here's where I'm thinking that they're picking and choosing because Brian doesn't have that. Brian's gets monetized instantly. Mine, I have to wait.
I'm not monetized, so I wouldn't know.
Me neither. I'm not monetized either.
I think they're picking and choosing because like all of Brian's streams instantly go green.
Did you ever notice that? Okay, now 3 months ago I had 3,000 some odd whatevers. You know how you need your watch hours.
Yeah.
All right, now as the months go, and if you like me, if you go 2 or 3 months before you go and even go live again, what happens is it falls off. So now having 3,000, I have 2,000 this month.
Well, that's because to be monetized, you have to have 4,000 watch time hours in the previous 365 days.
Yeah.
So as a new day comes in, one drops off the back. And let's say you have a video that you uploaded or a live stream that you did this time last year that had, say, 120 hours on that live stream. All of a sudden, that 120 hours just dropped off the back end, and you need to be putting out a video that's going to.
And if they're doing what Facebook is doing, if they are even attempting to do that, have any of you guys noticed that your Facebook, you could have 500 people on your Facebook, but only maybe 30 people at the most are even seeing it?
Yeah, and then they want you to pay to boost your post.
Yeah, well, with you, okay? Because that is censorship in the biggest way. You know what I mean? And it's just not cool.
It is and it isn't. And what I mean when I say that is, you got to remember, it's not like you're standing out on your front porch doing a show on your front porch. You have freedom of speech there. But when you're on somebody else's platform like Facebook or YouTube, you have to abide by their rules. You know, Facebook isn't America. YouTube isn't America. It's a business. And then, you know, you have to conform to the rules that they set forth. And by their rules, they're allowed to censor you.
And by meaning platform, doesn't it only mean that they have their own, what they have is a big, huge, I got to think about what I was saying because I just lost my thought.
It's a social network is basically.
Yeah, and it's
but
just
they own it. It's just like if you wanted to put something in your local newspaper, you couldn't write up a post and send it in and pay to have it in there if it had a bunch of F-bombs and racial slurs and things like that because they own the newspaper. You know what I mean? It's their newspaper and they're not going to allow that to go out on their newspaper.
What do you know?
Like YouTube.
Guys, I'll be right back.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When you're on somebody else's platform, you have to abide by their rules.
Right.
And, that's the, do you agree to these terms? You sign yes. And then if you do something that they don't like, they can strike down your channel or, you know, copyright strikes or anything like that. It's a rat race. It sucks, you know, but we're all dealing with it the best we can. And for some reason, YouTube's rules are constantly changing, whether they think it's for the
all
better
the time
or not.
though. It's all the time.
They're basing I don't know what they're doing. Actually, I think what they're doing is categorizing. I think you have your large YouTubers here. I think you got your baby YouTubers here. And then in the middle is a mix of everything.
Yeah.
And what I think they're trying to do is put it into categories. This is your smaller channels. This is your bigger channel. This is this. You know
They
what?
don't recommend smaller channels.
No,
Do you know what
they
I mean?
don't. I
Like,
think they want to get rid of them.
Well, I think
like,
what they're wanting is more people to do like show type things instead of just live stream panels and just people hanging out. You
They
know,
want video content.
they want actual like television show quality.
like a series, yeah?
Yeah, they want a series. They want, a reoccurring show that shows up every week at the same time, like this one, or, when we do EVPs or Whacked Out Wednesdays over on JoJo's, they look for things like that because it's a constant and, having new people up on a panel or things like that. So it's more of a talk show type based thing.
I'm over here.
They're looking for consistency.
Yeah, they're looking for that word that she used that I can't say with dentures in.
Consistency.
But you know what? If you're reading the chat, Made Up TV said that he's been on YouTube for 9 years, consistently making videos and stuff like that, and he's only got 300 subscribers.
Oh.
So, and that's the thing, like, that people don't get recommended, and then they don't get, there's stuff out there. The only time our smaller channels get recommended is if it's only because of what I've selected. Do you know what I mean? Like on what I watch. So if I'm watching a gamer who's playing Friday the 13th, then sometimes, not often, but sometimes a channel of like 1,000 subs or 1,200 subs will pop up in my thing there saying that it's live and it's, somebody doing it, but it's very rare. It's very rare. So I've seen it a few times here and there, but people don't get recommended. And I think that's got a lot to do with
JoJo,
it.
I'm going to leave Michael Green to you. I don't know where he's going with all that, but
hold on. I gotta catch up.
I'll leave that up to you.
I'm not going to comment on that because I'm just going to lose my marbles. So
does anybody up on this panel care if I lose my marbles?
Why? What did he say?
Michael Green, this is not a place for politics. It's not a place for religion. And if you don't stop your feminist shit that you've got going on in there, I'm personally going to come into that chat and kick your ass.
Bubba. You might not like what you get on the other end.
Anyway, well, now that we've ranted and raved about YouTube for a little bit, and of course there's nothing we can do to change things because, it's YouTube and it falls on deaf ears most of the time. Whenever you try to get in contact with them, you just can't, or you don't get a response, or, everything's automated. So what's going on in China over there, Megan? What's going on with the moon? Like, more specifically.
So China's there's a province in China that's planning to release, they're busy creating it. There's a province, I'll get the name for you in a minute. They are creating and building a moon, and this moon is supposed to be put up in the sky in 2020. So I don't know.
So exactly. next year, China is going to be launching
a moon
into the Earth's orbit. For what?
But it's not as high as the real moon, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, right. It'd be like satellite height, it'd be in orbit, but.
So what is it? Just a picture?
Hold on.
No, it's a moon. Like they're actually building Earth will get an artificial moon courtesy of China. It's actually a video on it. China's crazy plan to launch an artificial moon, artificial moon. China to launch the world's first man-made moon by 2020.
Okay.
So I will tell you now exactly. In Chengdu, the province is called Chengdu, which is the southwestern Sichuan province, and apparently the reason for it is illumination satellites. And the reason they're doing that is because China's electricity usage is extremely high. Like if you've been on Hangouts with me and you've seen me outside, there's electricity being used all the time. All the buildings and everything are always lighting up, like everything. So what they're doing is they now want to use this moon in that Chengdu to be able to illuminate, the area at night so that less electricity can be used.
Okay, so we're gonna have 100 moons up in the sky soon.
Okay, so it says here, Chengdu, a city in southwestern Sichuan province, is developing illumination satellites, which will shine in tandem with the real moon, but are 8 times brighter, according to China Daily. So they are going to be launching this moon. Oh, and wait, there's more. The first man-made moon will launch from Xichang Satellite Launch Center in Sichuan, with 3 more to follow in 2020 if the first test goes well. So they're going to have more.
So,
And
they're launching. Hold on though. Are they launching this into space, or are they just like putting it up high enough that it's only in their portion of the sky?
it says here that they're launching them like satellites.
Maybe they got too many aliens and they need new moons, so they're just building them so they can all hang out there instead of coming to bother us.
Okay, so it says here, by reflecting light from the sun, the satellites could replace street lamps in urban areas, saving an estimated 1.2 billion yuan, which is equivalent to $170 million a year in electricity costs for Chengdu, which is only for that province, that area, if the man-made moons illuminate an area of 50 square kilometers. So they're doing it to save electricity. And I do believe that if it becomes successful, that they are going to sell this idea to the rest of the world, obviously.
Oh, I bet.
and I can see now that they sell the idea to, say, the U.S., okay, to help illuminate streets and cut back on, like, the lighting of the highways at night, things like that. And,
Right.
What's to stop them from putting spy satellite, spy software in these satellites, or, it's not going to be a spherical moon. It's literally going to be a satellite with reflection mirrors. It's still going to have some geosynchronous software that keeps it in orbit with thrusters and things like that, and keeps it, it can, change the direction of the mirrors to illuminate certain areas at certain times of the day and things like that, and track. And, you're talking about a lot of money just into one satellite, millions of dollars for one satellite. And they're going to launch 5, 1 now and 4 to come.
Yeah, they also say the extraterrestrial source of light could also help rescue efforts in disaster zones during blackouts.
That could be a promising thing there, but again, what else are they going to be putting in these satellites? Most satellites have multiple purposes. Even your cable satellites anymore for your cable television double as something else.
But China is busy with a whole lot more than just that. Just saying, like they're working in the space now. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they also say, as China's space program races to catch up with that of the United States and Russia, a number of ambitious projects are in the pipeline, including the Change 4 lunar probe, named after the moon goddess in Chinese mythology, which aims to launch later this year. If it succeeds, it will be the first rover to explore the dark side of the moon.
Oh, I see Uber Goober out there. Uber Goober, I hope that you're feeling better. I know she took a nasty fall the other day. Prayers going out to Uber Goober lady for a fast recovery. She did go into the hospital, get x-rays, no broken bones, but she is pretty badly bruised up and banged up. She said that they've got her on 1,000 milligram ibuprofen.
Yeah, I've been talking to her in the chat. I asked her if she had anything for pain relief.
And 400 Tylenol. She said if that doesn't work, then they're going to put her on narcotics. But in her state, she has to go through pain management and all that crap to get narcotics for painkillers.
Yeah.
Which, that's sad. And that's kind of a conspiracy in itself that she would have to go through the pain management. That's because so many people abuse prescription medication.
Mm.
Is why the state has there's a lot of states that has actually started doing that. To
Hey,
where
Kels.
if you're going to the hospital and you want narcotics, you have to go to a pain management course and all that happy horse shit to get meds for something like that. It's ridiculous, but you know, it's just because somebody abused the system too many times, and you know, I don't know. Who'd we lose? Oh,
Megan just
camera
muted.
off. Okay.
Yeah, she just muted.
Sorry, my food just arrived. Sorry.
So here's my
42
question
people in here watching. Nice.
about these moon satellites.
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to keep it in their place only? It's
That's a good
orbiting
question.
around, correct?
Well,
No.
if they put it in orbit, you know, with the rotation of the planet, then they can keep it in one spot. But that's probably the idea
Yeah, but the
behind.
planet is constantly changing.
Well, that's the idea of having multiple satellites. When one goes out of view, the second one's coming in.
Right.
And
The
they only
first one
have
is
to
a
cover
test
it.
run.
Yeah, they
The
only
first
have
one
to
is
cover
just
it
a
during
test.
the nighttime hours. So they only got, what, 8 hours of darkness that they got to
No,
cover
we've
for?
got more than that. In
Is it
winter,
more than
it's
that?
more than that.
12?
So then my question is also, though, even with the moon, okay, the regular moon, like the actual moon, clouds block it out. So how are they going to stop cloud coverage?
Take control of the
Okay, let me
harp
tell you,
antenna?
because you know what, I don't believe it's going to be as high, because we already, you know, okay, let's be for real. China is a polluted country, yeah?
Yeah.
So it is extremely gray most of the time. And yes, we do have sunlight, but it, you know, with clear skies. But my province that I'm in, I'm luckily blessed with that. But if you go anywhere up to like Beijing or even down to Chengdu, where they have a lot of factories and stuff like that, you'll be lucky to see the moon in general. You know what I mean? And I think that this is going to go because of it's supposed to be brighter than the moon. It can shine right through that fog. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll be powerful enough.
It's supposed to be 8 times brighter than the moon
Yes.
on a full moon
Yes.
night.
Right. So if that's the case, then they will be able to save a whole lot more electricity. So I can see, because China, the amount of electricity that they spend, money that they spend on electricity is absolutely redonkulous. Like it's crazy. It's nuts.
I'm wondering how's that going to affect plant life and things like that? Is going to enhance plant growth?
That's a good question.
I mean,
have no idea.
You know, it's one of those things that, I mean, you know, even street lights or having a light bulb out in your yard, around that light, the grass is going to get more light. It's going to grow faster and things like that. So would it enhance, you know, plant growth in that region?
It probably would. Like if you think about it logically, that's what it would do. I'm very curious, and I'm very tempted. If I'm still here in that time, I'm very tempted to go down there, and but not immediately. Do you know what I mean? To go like after a little while to go and see what the province looks like after it's been up for a while, because they're not going to sit here and tell you that it's going to be bad for you. They're not going to sit there and tell you that whatever they're putting up there in the sky is going to be bad for your health or for the plant life or for the ecosystem or whatever. They're obviously going to make it sound like it's a good thing.
Yeah, what's the prolonged exposure to, you know, something like that going to do? I mean, it's not like, okay, you're the guy down on the corner that has the street light that's super freaking bright right in front of your house. And no matter how thick you put the curtains on your window, you always have that one beam of light that seems to shine right in your bedroom and hit you right in the face when you're trying to sleep. And then you go out there with a BB gun and you put the light bulb out, and they come out like a month later and change the bulb, and you got to do it all over again. But these are satellite. You ain't gonna have a BB gun that's gonna be able to, you know, put that out. You know?
Right. It's a good question.
There's got to be some there's got to be some downsides to the coin too. You know what I mean?
I'm actually going to look up if there's anybody that has problems with it.
Would it be like just hanging an airplane in midair? I mean, you know.
It kind of like be like that. I mean, it's a satellite, so it's in orbit, and you're gonna, in any one spot that you're seeing it, you're going to see that satellite go across the sky for about 2 to 3 hours, and then the next one will come through, and then the next one will come through, and it'll just, by the time they get those 5 satellites up there that cover enough area to illuminate that for the nighttime hours of China. Now, is those lights going to be, when they're in orbit, where are they going to come across the USA too? Are we gonna get free illumination down in Louisiana?
I can't wait to
how's that
see how much they're gonna start charging people for the sake of this.
Oh, see.
Because that, listen, if they sell it to other countries, if the test goes good and they sell it to other countries, damn well those other countries are going to tax their citizens through the ass for the price of what it's going to have to not only have one of those, but launch it.
Yeah, definitely. Taxpayer.
and you're reflecting sunlight, okay, down into an area that's normally pitch black dark. Okay. It's going to be 8 times brighter than a full moon. Not only is it going to enhance plant growth, but don't you think that reflection of sunlight would actually warm the atmosphere more?
Yeah.
I would think, and we're already suffering from overheating, right?
Yeah, global warming. Wouldn't that make global warming that much worse?
It says
I would think anytime you're putting something that's not real into the atmosphere, that it would automatically cause some kind of a reaction.
Well, I mean, basically they're just putting mirrors up there to reflect sunlight. But
yeah,
when you redirect sun rays to go into an area that sun rays don't get to at that specific time, wouldn't it throw off the ecosystem to a certain
And how
extent?
are they building it? Are they using like 3D or, one of those printers or whatever? How are they building it?
I'm sure that it's just a series of mirrors that are attached to a satellite, fold out in space.
Megan, does it say how they're like a rough idea of how this thing is put together?
Okay. I've just found an article from the Forbes, and it says China's fake moons could make light pollution almost 50 times worse, warns an astronomer. And then I'm just scanning through this quickly. Okay, so, but one astronomer thinks that it could worsen light pollution by a factor of 47. They think that they can cut the street lights by launching an illumination satellite that could provide enough light for between 6 and 50 square miles of the city. Why are the fake moons such a bad idea? The Chengdu artificial moon would have the effect of significantly increasing the nighttime brightness of an already light polluted city, creating problems for both Chengdu residents who are unable to screen out the unwanted light, as Ghost just said, as well as for the urban wildlife population that can't simply go inside and close the shutters. This potentially creates significant new environmental problems with that. At first, seems like a novel approach to an already solved problem. So they're talking about that it can cause problems.
That's the other problem when you have nocturnal creatures, like the creatures that come out after dark, say possums and things like that. They only come out in dark. All of a sudden, they're going to be coming out in the middle of the daytime. They're going to be coming out, you get raccoons in the daytime or nighttime because it's illuminated. It's going to be as bright as, dusk. It's not going to be dark. It's going to be dusk.
You're going to throw them off. Their whole system's going to be off.
It's going to throw their whole system off. They're you're going to have animals coming out when they shouldn't be out. You're going to have, strange eating habits with animals and things like that. They're going to be coming out and going into areas that they are not normally in because of the light. And it's definitely going to. Who is the goofy looking guy with the hat?
Missy, I'm just trying to see how they are making it.
I think they're asking, but wasn't it China that first launched rockets into the sky to change their weather? They were the first ones to do that.
I think that was Germany.
No, because China did it when they hosted Olympics.
Mm.
They were the first ones to do it because there was supposed to be rain for the Olympics, and they wanted it sunny and nice, so they kept launching rockets to disperse the clouds.
Mm.
Okay, let's see if they say how are they building it.
I mean, there's got to be somebody out there that actually has voiced their opinion on this to China at some point. There's got to be some, there's a downside to the coin. I'm sure of that. Whether it be, the reflection of the sun's rays coming down at night to a cool area and warming that area to a certain extent, even if it's only, a degree an hour, that's enough to promote more global warming.
Well, look at it this way. When you use a magnifying glass as a kid and you're burning like ants or you're burning piece of wood or whatever, right? You're using it and you're filtering that light into a single beam, and they're doing this with a moon. What do you think it's going to do to that side of the world?
Well, and that's what Donna Ralph just said.
From what Megan has said, it's already hot enough there.
Yeah.
Says, wouldn't this act just like a magnifying glass, paper, and sun? It kind of depends. I mean, if it's a convex mirror, it can focus the light into a point. Yes, then you're going to get that multiplication factor from the convex mirrors. But if it's flat mirrors, it shouldn't be any more dangerous than regular sunlight coming down because you're just reflecting a direct light beam.
Yeah, but I'm not
but you're
saying
still
that it's going to catch something on fire. I'm saying it's going to heat things up faster.
Well, yeah, it's still going to heat. It's not going to allow that area to cool as fast as it would if you didn't have that light there.
Yeah.
And that region, it cools down at night. With these in place, it might not cool down at night at all, which, that they're not adding to the heat that much, but they're not allowing the streets and the buildings to cool during the night. And then the next day, when the sun actually comes back up, they're adding more heat to them and more heat to them. And all of a sudden, these high rises and the streets and all these concrete buildings, where they were, 120 degrees, you could cook an egg on a sidewalk. All of a sudden, it's going to be 140 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
You won't cook a human on a sidewalk.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then,
Total recall, guys. Total recall.
I mean, all that concrete holds heat like crazy.
I think in theory it's good, but at the same time, in actual reality, it's not so good. They didn't think all this through.
Well, they're not only doing that, they're doing a lot of things. They're also building a moon base with Europe. So they're building a base on the moon with Europe. So they're doing a whole bunch of stuff.
That's a space station.
It's not giving me any information as to how they are doing it.
I don't know. I cooked an egg on my balcony here this summer, Haunted Jim says. Mary Neal says, I'm with you, Ghost Mafia. I mean, what's going to happen to this ecosystem, our plant life, to our air, to animals, to the U.S.? Again, and obviously heat, more heated planet will, heat makes small particles move faster. So plant life is going to grow faster. It could be a blessing, especially for China's region, because, their crops are they're going to be able to get more crops out of the deal because the plant growth is going to be growing faster. They might get 2 crops in the summer, 3 crops in the summer, but tree growth is going to be, more predominant. Things like that, which means more oxygen production through photosynthesis and, things like that. But keeping up with the plant growth in city areas and things like that, you're going to have to mow your grass like every single day.
So here's my question though. Okay. say this works and it solves their light pollution problem, okay?
It's going to make it worse.
But hold on. No, just listen though. Listen. Say it works, okay? And they don't need to have so many lights on, okay? Congratulations, you solved it. Now, the heating problem. That's going to cause their electricity to go through the roof because everyone's going to have their ACs jacked.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know I would.
You're bettering one thing in theory, you're bettering one thing to only make another thing worse.
Yeah.
So then what are they going to do for that? Start building man-made icebergs that cool down the city?
Honestly, I think they would have been better off to, for the lighting, go to a LED type lighting system to where it uses a lot less power. It's more energy efficient, and do something like that.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, if I'm living here in China, they don't need to build a new moon to save electricity. Do you know what they need to do is turn off the building lights that they have going on, flashing. I mean, I can show you. I'm planning on doing a video on it. There's a building outside my house that lights up with butterflies. Do you know what I'm saying? And people running across the building, and the whole building is lit up. Now, if they would just stop doing that and wasting electricity, I mean, this isn't even a tourist town. Do you know what I'm saying? This is just a regular town. And they waste so much electricity on things that are it's not required. People don't need to have buildings flashing butterflies across them all the time. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just one building, it's all over.
I got the perfect example of that. We have a place up here. It's called the Ogilvy Institute. And every year from October to just after Christmas, they do what they call the City of Lights. And it's an 8-mile driving tour with figures made from Christmas lights all along the roads. Now, a few years ago, they decided that they're going to change every single light bulb in the displays because, they've been doing this for years. They had the old regular bulbs, the screw-in type bulbs. They went to an LED system. They're saving $1 million a year just by going to LEDs on this. And they used to charge, $25 a car. Well, yeah, it is now, but they used to charge $25 a car to drive through this 8-mile drive of Christmas lights. Now they ask for a $20 donation. You don't have to give it to them, but it's a donation to keep the lights lit and keep doing this every year. But, to save $1 million just over 8 miles by switching over to LEDs, it's a lot cheaper light source and it does the same, effect.
Most of the villages, what villages are you referring to, Jumble? You realize that they don't live like villages in China. China is a first world Asian country. If you're referring to villages as a third world country, you would be referring to more like areas like Thailand and those places. Because I've been around China and it's not like a village. There may be some villages left, but overall, not so much. The thing is that the technology is so advanced in this country that if you had to see what I see on a daily basis, you'd be like, oh my goodness. And it's such a waste of electricity and stuff. Because if I look at countries like my homeland, South Africa, who is constantly having load shedding because there's not enough electricity to go around. And then I come here and I see every single building outside. I mean, I can show you photos of the buildings outside my house that are just lit up, for no apparent reason. There's nobody even out in the streets. There's a carnival across the road from where I live that's permanently lit up at night, and there's nobody there. So it's just, to me, a complete waste of electricity. So my theory is, why do you have to build a new moon to light up a town if you could just turn off the electricity? These animals getting, like you said, with the animals and stuff.
Bulbs, even if they change to the energy saving bulbs, LED technology is You know, they can run half of the town off of solar panels if they went to the LED stuff. You know what I mean? They
Right.
can light up those buildings. You just put a couple solar panels up on top of high rises and light that whole building up with LEDs. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I have actually I was walking around here the one day with my friend, and she was staying with me, and I was having a look, and we were just taking a walk, and her, she's also a South African, and we were walking, and I just said to her, you know what I think about when I see, I mean, the lights are beautiful, I'm not going to lie, but when I sit there and I really think about it, and I'm like, what a waste of electricity. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what goes through my head, because when I lived in South Africa, we had weeks and weeks where we had to go through hours of no electricity because it wasn't enough to go around. So I can appreciate electricity, I can tell you that much.
It's almost like Times Square. If you've never seen China reminds you a lot of Times Square.
Right.
Centennial Park, lighting the Christmas tree, like everything is lit up. You got the signs of you've got LCD screens on the buildings doing Coca-Cola advertisements, you know, everywhere, like Radio City, like that kind of thing going on over there.
It's lit up 24/7. Like you guys have seen me in Shanghai and those places. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I've got a vlog where you can actually see the amount of electricity that's used, because I went to go back to the thing at night, and you get to see the whole town is lit up. Like, it's lit up. And it's not necessary. Okay, granted, Shanghai is a little bit more of a touristy zone, but still, it's a lot.
Hey, Frank's in chat.
I'm gonna see if I can find a picture for you. I had a lot on here. I don't know. I feel like it's going to disturb the animals. I think it's gonna have an impact on the ecosystem, especially because it's gonna create more pollution.
Well, I don't know how it would create more pollution, but I could definitely see the adding to the global warming situation.
I think she means more light pollution.
Well, yeah. Ghost Mafia, it sounds like they have another use for them, but claim the main reason is to light the city to cover the real use. There's the conspiracy. You're muted, Mama.
Mama,
you're muted.
We can't hear you, Mama. Sorry.
There's probably an alien nation that's overcrowded and they need new space, so they're making new moons.
There you go. There you go.
They've got a lot of things going on with the moon at the moment. They're making a base on the moon. They're talking about creating that rover to go to the dark side of the moon. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff with the moon here in this country.
The thing is they've been on that moon for a long time. Maybe not in space, but they've had a station up there for years.
Well, I know. Okay,
and it was actually the Russians that put up the first base up there.
And this kind of comes back to that 5G topic that we was talking about last week. But it's been 10 years. It was right about the same time that the FCC changed television transmission to digital. You remember that? Everybody had to go get a digital converter for their tube type TVs or go out and buy a flat screen TV that was digital ready.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At that time, the FCC actually set aside certain frequencies for worldwide free internet. It never came true. What are they doing with those frequencies?
Mm-hmm.
This was supposed to be something that would be put into a satellite or a series of satellites that anyone on the planet could connect to with their cell phones, their laptops, tablets, whatever. This was 10 years ago. Now, you know, they had the technology. If they were talking about it and they set aside the frequencies 10 years ago, they had the technology to be able to do it. Why hasn't it actually happened? You know what I mean?
Good question.
Why?
Megan can Megan answer jump off?
Where? China is basically sporadic with its modern convinces. I've been all over China, and the major towns may have the electricity, but it is on time element. The farmlands, on the other hand, very rural. Fair enough. I have spent more time in the cities, so I have not really experienced that the farmlands are like that, but I know quite a few Chinese people that are. And from what they've explained to me, it's not like the old-fashioned, really old-fashioned ways anymore. I could be wrong, but I have been like, I don't live in touristy areas. I live in real China. And I can tell you that, places like Beijing and Shanghai and Hangzhou, and those places are all permanently lit up for tourist purposes. But my argument is the areas like Chengdu, even Suzhou, this one that I'm in, I'm not going to mention it, the town that I'm in, and things like that, it's not necessary. So it's really not necessary to have all this electricity being used, where maybe a town like Chengdu could then benefit because they are having such high electricity costs. I don't even want to know what the electricity costs for this town is that I'm in. And it's not a touristy town, but it's not a tiny town either. So, like if I look out my window, I just see buildings and apartments. And let me tell you, at night, they're all lit up. For what? So I don't know. I really don't know.
Kelly says, Mama Rock, wasn't there a movie where Hitler ran some sort of Nazi nation involving aliens on the dark side of the moon?
I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
Me either.
That's funny, though.
It just, when you think about it, why would they need a new moon? Why did
it's no
do we
sense.
need a new sun next? I mean, what the heck?
Right. And that's the thing. I just don't listen, I live in their country. I have to abide by their rules and I have to do what they want me to do. But I will say this too, I don't have to agree with it.
Right.
I don't think that doing this is a very wise idea, because at the end of the day, they're going to put up another 3 afterwards. And then what? Are they going to start selling it to every other country? And then what? Every other country is going to be heat up like that, and it's going to.
Well, before you know it, we'll have a bunch of big milky balls in the sky.
Well, what's going to happen is, China's going to get all their satellites in place. They're going to sell it to another city, Australia or some other place, and we're going to start warming up sections of the planet. And before too long, you're going to have it's going to be like Saturn. There's going to be one storm that just travels all the way around the earth over and over again and never stops. It's going to be that one super storm. And that's what's going to happen.
This shit is going to cause the zombie apocalypse. I'm convinced. All this altering everything that was not man-made and making it into whatever.
You know how the Bible says the old sun and the old moon will pass away and earth will go away? What are they rebuilding it in case?
Right.
Well, and there's a saying, and mechanics, anybody that's in the mechanic world or works on cars would know this. People around here like to get their big trucks and they put their lifts and their big tires, and that's great and all, and they work for a while, but you just end up tearing up the vehicle because the engineers that designed those trucks did not design them to had add-ons. So anytime you alter the overall design of something, you're not prolonging its life. You're actually going against how it was designed, and it's going to wear out faster. So when you modify
then we'll all be
something, it will work for a while, but modification is not prolonged life. In that instance. I'm guilty of it. I've gotten trucks. I've went out. I've put 6-inch lifts on and 3-inch body lifts and run 44-inch tires and everything else, And yeah, we run the hell out of them. We put them in mud bogs. We torture the hell out of them. But overall, when you're putting that much stress on factory parts, you always have something break. And when you change the dynamics of how it was built and what specs it was built to, you know, the only way to do it right would be to basically build a military vehicle, military grade vehicle, and lift that. But when you go out and you just go get a Ford F-150 and turn it into what seemingly is like a Ford 650 or what looks like a 650, the frame that's on that 150 was not designed to be put under that stress. You know, it was not engineered that way. The steel wasn't thick enough. You know, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't built that way originally. You modified it. Makes it look good, makes it look, you know, real fancy and everything. But, you know, when you put undue stress on things that weren't meant to have that much stress on it, they fail.
Right.
And the Earth is the same way.
Now, here's my question. I got another question for you. With them building this station or base or whatever they're building on the actual moon, okay, do you think that this moon is just a diversion for what they may actually be making on the moon?
Okay, but that's what I wanted to say before you started that, was China's not only doing that, they are also planning on being on Mars by the end of 2020.
They get a lot of ambitious shit going on, don't they?
They do, and there's actually a video on it, but I obviously can't show that to you on here. But I will link you to it sometime so that you can see it.
Drop the link in the chat. Viewers might want to see it.
Okay, but I'm just going to read this to you quickly. It's short and sweet. It says, China is aiming to own the race for space in the next decade. China's ambitious and fast-growing space program is targeting a landing on the dark side of the moon by 2018 and reaching Mars before the end of the decade. The country's space agency held a press conference on Tuesday to mark the release of a policy paper and outline the government's goals for exploring deep space.
Well, they didn't make it there by 2018, so.
Right. Yes, 2020 is.
Yeah, I know, but they're still working on it. So it's like they haven't given up on it. Do you know what I mean?
It sounds like, you know, that they've actually, sounds like they might be on schedule for the first moon. Now, whether they get it up in the air in the next, you know, 400 days or whatnot.
Okay, but now listen to this.
Imagine.
Listen to how they are messing with space, because if you read further, it says Deputy Chief of the National Space Administration said Beijing aims to launch its first Mars probe around 2020 to carry out orbiting and roving exploration, followed by a second mission that would include collection of surface samples from the red planet. He said the other plans include sending probes to Jupiter and its moons. So they're on some kind of space mission, and to me it's worrisome, because there's a reason why we're not supposed to be there. I believe that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Here's my prediction for that, and it happened with the U.S. before. John Kennedy's promised that we will be on the moon by this date next year. Blah blah. You know, the whole speech, and I predict whoever is the next president,
Trump,
whether it be Trump or somebody else who voted into office, you know, it's a trending topic they're going to have to take notice of, and they're going to have to step up the space game and try to compete and try to, you know.
Megan?
Yes.
The article I sent you in Hangouts, because it's exactly what Ghost is talking about right now, because Trump's trying to get his hand in it.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, Trump,
it's a trending topic. You know, they're going to have to deal with it.
Right now, Trump and China are not friends.
No.
No, he's competing against them, is what I'm saying.
Remember Trump's word about what he did do this year was he opened up. Now, I don't know if any of you have been in the military or not, but any of the aerospace programs or anything else like that went through the Air Force. That was a branch of the military. This year, they established their own military for space. We have now a branch.
So they got rid of NASA, and they're going to take it into the military. So it's government government funded and government
Is that a good idea?
governed.
And for somebody like Tammy, you know, Tammy wanted to be an astronaut. All right. And that was her big dream. She had went to Cape Canaveral with her parents and seen the ship that she liked. In the video, you can hear her say, a spaceship. That's my thing. To that, she wanted to be a woman in space. So right now, I think she's smiling, saying, "Yay, they finally got it," you know. And now, when you go into the military, if you want to be a part of the space program, you go right into their military and train, which is going to be different. I think they're messing with God, to tell you the truth. I think that they're playing God with these planets and all these experiments, and I'm sure we'll all pay the price.
Mm-hmm.
With the whole moon thing, I think that's going to be the slow death. That's going to be the
Think
bullet.
about it. How many planets do we have? They're going to be putting something up there. Isn't that going to misalign those planets?
In Mars, Jupiter, all Jupiter's moons. Like, what's next?
I don't think the farther ones away from us, I don't think would affect us that much unless they come off their axis and start moving towards us and crash into the planet or something like that.
But there's times throughout the years that those planets, those planets actually do come closer to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not that close. I mean,
When
close
they're
enough
close enough that you can
see them, but
that's close. In space terms, that's close.
When it looks like a little tiny dot in the sky, that's not so close. When it looks like a bigger moon, it's getting close. You know.
I think it's going to throw everything off.
Yeah, I think they're trying to end the world, to tell you the truth. I mean, what the hell? Now we're going to be putting fake moons, and when are we going to put up the first Neptune or something, you know? Why don't we just recreate, what's that thing that sunk underground there?
Atlantis?
Atlantis, yeah, I couldn't even think of it. Imagine.
The icebergs are already melting and drowning everything.
Why don't we bring that up to the surface, you know? I mean, why create a new moon? Let's just bring what's underground back up.
Now, here's my question, okay? The whole polar ice caps melting. Now, everybody's like, oh, we're going to get flooded. We're not. We're actually losing water. And those ice caps are underneath the water to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's not like it's going to flood us.
Well, actually, there's some evidence to suggest that with the polar ice caps melting, water levels are rising. That's why we're losing so much shoreline. The water is engulfing onshore by like something like 2 feet a year. So the water levels are coming up, but I don't know.
Well, if that were the case, wouldn't Florida and California be in water already, and Texas too?
Yep. That's the thing. You look at it this way, okay?
It's not noticeable though. At 2 feet a year, it's just, you know, the surf, and when it comes in and out, you're actually washing up more sand or washing away.
Ice in the water to begin with. It's like putting an ice cube in a cup. Half of that ice cube's already under that water, so it doesn't overflow your cup when the cube melts.
What about this? Excessive heat, doesn't that make water evaporate?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can.
Or boil. One of the two. Freaking water.
Start cooking our ocean.
Save on your gas bill. Just drive to the ocean.
That's the other thing, Mudcon. You're right. He says it's all history. It will all freeze again. Now, when the planet goes through us, the planet is constantly in a cycle that is like, what, 5,000-6,000 year cycle, maybe 10,000 year cycle, where it literally goes through changes and climate changes. And at some point, we will be in what they'll call basically a nuclear winter, to where everything will freeze again. Mm-hmm. And then everything will start over.
Shit, it does that here every year.
Well, yeah, it kind of does every year, but you look at, okay, what killed the dinosaurs? It was, they say it was an asteroid that hit the Earth with such impact and put so much soot and dirt and dust into the air that it blocked out the sun for at least 3 to 6 months. And with no sun heating the atmosphere, the whole planet basically froze over and went into reset mode.
That's kind of crazy.
And that's where, the glaciers came from that carved out the Mississippi River and the Michigan Lake ice. Yeah, the ice, that's what brought on the Ice Age, and how many asteroids are out there like that? We don't know. We can only see out so far. And there has been some that passed within a concerning amount of distance from the planet. But is the media going to tell us, the general public, hey, we got an asteroid headed our way, you better stick your head between your legs and kiss your eyes goodbye,
actually.
Question.
Two.
Question.
In the last short bit. Yep.
Well, I was just reading what somebody else wrote, and it kind of planted this little thought in my head. Mama Rock, she just pops off when she thinks. What's to say that the moon up there right now is real?
Well, supposedly, now this is where it gets a little fishy.
Right.
At some point, the Earth is actually made up of materials, or the moon is made up of materials that were from Earth. It was actually a chunk of Earth that broke off and, literally made the moon.
Because, you hear conspiracy theories all the time. And sometimes they say the Earth is flat. Sometimes it's round. Sometimes we're in a globe. I've heard things about we're living like we're in movie, like this is all just virtual
Matrix, yeah.
Matrix, definitely, so who's to say? You and I don't know if anybody actually landed on the moon. We weren't there. It could all be in a desert in California or Arizona somewhere, where they're taking pictures.
And you see pictures of the moon. What is it covered with? It's covered with craters.
Yeah.
Craters from asteroids smashing into it.
Yeah.
And there's craters on the planet, large craters that simulation theory. Yes, that's my son. He'd be a good one to bring on the show sometime. He's got all kinds of like crazy outlandish stuff. But you think about it. It does kind of, if a large asteroid hit the Earth, 65 million years ago is when the one hit that killed the dinosaurs. What if 100 million years ago or 150 million years ago, something big enough to take a chunk the size of the moon out of the planet and knock it out into an orbit, geosynchronous orbit around it, happened? Okay. And then over a period of time, that sphere rotating around the Earth has been hit with so many asteroids that it has been shaped to a spherical nature now and formed over millions of years. So it just, to us, it just looks like a round ball that rotates around us. But literally, it could have been a chunk of Earth that was knocked off by a rather huge asteroid that crashed into us millions and millions of years ago. We weren't around back then. We wouldn't know.
Right.
There's no way of proving it, other than, hey, it's there, isn't it? That's all you can say. That it's there. How did it get there? How else could it have gotten there?
Well, like anything from the past history, we actually have no clue as to what and how anything got anywhere. It's not like you have the other planets as well. How did they get there? If the moon has been shaped by meteors and big dodging rocks, how's not to say that other planets weren't formed the same way?
The Russians claim that the U.S. government filmed the moon landing at Area 51. They have satellite photos that show areas of the base are identical to the moon's surface. That would be like finding a needle in a haystack.
That's maybe why they don't want you in Area 51.
Okay, so here we are. We're transitioning to Area 51, and in 3 days, just 3 days, the Naruto run, people are supposed to be showing up out there at the 20th or the 22nd. Is it? Yeah, it's either the 20th or 22nd. 3 or 4 days.
That's a federal military area. Their asses are going to be fried.
I think it's funny that I'm not seeing anything about it now on Facebook or YouTube. It's just like, shh, don't say anything about it. You know, now it's all quiet. A month ago, everybody was gung ho. Yeah, let's go raid Area 51 and go find the aliens. Yeah.
Did you see the warnings they put up about that?
Yeah.
There was some major warnings that said, "Go ahead, come on."
Yeah.
You know, they're tempting people to actually show up there. Now, what if they show up there and there's nothing but illegal aliens coming down the mountains?
You know, here it is. It was in July of 1947 when the supposed alien crash in Roswell, New Mexico happened. Now, supposedly, 2 miles from the actual crash site is where they found 4 alien bodies. Yes, I was watching this today. I was watching videos on it today. 2 miles away from the actual crash site, 4 bodies of small human-like individuals with large head and sunken eyes were found and taken back to Area 51. And then there was a cover story of a weather balloon. The wreckage was gathered up by the military, taken back to Area 51, packaged, and then shipped to Dayton, Ohio Air Force Base. The bodies were kept at Area 51, supposedly. Autopsies were done. You know, if autopsies were done on an alien, those things got cut up into slivers and put onto glass plates to be inspected, okay? Mm-hmm. You know, every part of that dead alien is in jars about this big and was shipped someplace else. I guarantee you, over the last, 60, 70 years it's been? Over the last 70 years.
They have them pickled in a jar somewhere.
Yeah, it's not like what you see on like Independence Day where they have the full-bodied alien in a big jar and hey, you want to see the aliens? No, it isn't going to be like that. They have been dissected, chopped up into little bits and put on the, glass slides to be veered at under microscopes and shipped off to all kinds of different people over the last 70 years. There is nothing there. There was nothing there when they declassified it back in like the 1990s, okay? Now all it is a testing facility for top secret military aircraft and, other weaponry. It's also a testing place for bombs. They have a bomb test range there. So, if you're going to storm a military facility to go look at aliens, you're looking in the wrong place at Area 51. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put that out there right now. What you should be more worried about is, someplace like Fort Knox, Kentucky, where they say all the U.S.'s gold is kept there, and the other places around the United States, the U.S. reserves, things like that. But supposedly it's empty. They're telling it's full, but it's empty. And nobody has been in there since 1976 and done an audit. It's lemon.
Oh no, somebody in the chat was asking me what I'm
Oh.
drinking. I didn't want to interrupt you.
And the U.S. gold is what our money is founded on. So if there's no gold there, your paper money ain't going to be worth squat.
Right.
If you're worried about, the fall of the U.S. and things like that, that's where you should be looking. If you're going to raid someplace, go raid there. If you want to get killed to find out truth, go find that out. Come back and let me know, and I'll let the viewers know.
You need to raid my house. That's where they kept the aliens. They shipped them all up here.
No, it's my house, Jojo. I'm in China, remember?
Listen, we split it. Stop giving out our secrets. You can't have both places raided at once.
Yes, it's lemon. I'm actually on my second one because I'm thirsty today. So this was the first one, Mel, which was lemon and apple, and this one is just lemon.
I say go raid the underground highway system under the Walmarts. Let us know if it's real.
Oh yeah, I bet you they are.
I guarantee they are. I've actually watched videos.
Listen, did you ever see the back? Did you ever pay attention to the back of the Walmart building? Anywhere?
Well, we don't have them here.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we have Walmart here, but we don't. There's no back to it. It's just closed off building. There's no place to go down underneath of it or anything like that.
Most of Walmarts, okay, are.
But because in this area, that whole area is covered by like coal mines and things underground, so they couldn't put anything underground here. It would interfere with coal mines that are actually active right now.
Most Walmarts are built on huge areas and behind them there is usually nothing but woods.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you check out Walmarts, you'll see they're either to the side of it, to the right of it, to the back. Okay. If you were to drive around to the back of Walmart, you see the doors that come up, the big, huge doors that come up. Well, where we used to live, right in the Walmart parking lot, practically. Okay, my house was here and you could walk through the parking lot and there was Walmart. The kids used to go back there and play, and there's security and they kick you out of there. They don't want you back there. When that big door opens up, there's another door. There's one that goes down to a lower level, and there's one that goes up to the upper level part of the store. Well, Walmart, you can buy a tank at Walmart. You can buy an AR-15. You can buy bullets. You can buy any government surplus, all right? But you can't unless you're part of the government.
Right.
They sell it all. When you want a tank, you can order a tank from Walmart.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
But listen, and I've done a lot of research on that. When I was teaching, we and all kinds of different stuff, and I was always one of those people that goes and looks for other things, and the unobvious mostly. If you look at the cage where the flowers are in Walmart, the next time you go to Walmart, check out their garden center. It looks like a reception center to a prison.
Yeah.
It has.
Yeah, see, like our Walmart, it's in a big plaza, and it's got Sam's Club, which is also owned by Walmart. And then
think about it. Think about it. Sam, isn't that little convenient for Uncle Sam?
Well, yeah, I mean bulk, but
it's a government store
in our area, and there's a lot of areas that there are Walmarts that isn't attached to the underground. I'm going to call it an underground railroad because
my thought on that is
anywhere.
My thought on that is anywhere where there's not a military base would be where they would have one at a Walmart.
Yeah. Now, see that we don't have a military base around here, but there's a lot, and I mean a lot of coal mines that are active and a lot of non-active coal mines around that area that have been closed down for years and years and years.
Yeah.
So to drill underground in a straight line through this area, and being so close to the river and everything too, it would be actually a hindrance. You would have to go really, really deep to get under all the mines.
But the thing of it is, if they can plant a tunnel in the ocean for you to drive through, they certainly can do that.
Well, yeah, they could.
Because where was it? Chesapeake Bay. For 17 miles, you're underground in water. You're in the ocean. You're not, there's no land. That's water. If that thing cracks, you're going fishies. That's it. You know, that's a free ride to heaven right there. I won't drive through. I went through that thing one time and I was scared to death the whole time I was there. My ears were going all the way through. I was like, no.
Also, if my mods could be dropping Mama Rock's link in the chat, there was somebody said was asking if you had a vlog and wanted to know they wanted.
I have my own channel on YouTube, which is the Mama Rock channel. I can't even talk now; it's past my bedtime. And then on my Facebook,
I just dropped it.
On my Facebook, I have the Mama Rock fans.
And guys, we are trying to get Mama Rock to her 2K. As
yeah,
well. So
probably.
if there's anybody out there in the chat that isn't subscribed to Mama Rock's channel, get over there, hit that bar, ding that bell, drop a like on one of her videos, and leave her comments so she can get back to you.
And don't forget to check out the new video.
That's right. She dropped a premiere just a little while ago. It is the unedited EVP footage from Lou Rock's, from the first and second episodes of the Tammy Lynn story. So it's exclusively on Mama Rock's channel. Go over there and check that out as well. Share that around. Make sure that it's getting.
And we have Ghost as our voice.
Yes, I did some voiceover work on that one as well.
Which is really cool. You've got the voice for it. It's really made the videos awesome. So thank you very much. I also have, I'll have 2 more videos that are dropping. One is we celebration for Tammy on September 2nd, which is her birthday. Lou Rock wasn't there. That was me and the Lynn's family. And I videoed that. We did EVPs at the gravesite and posting that. And then I can't tell you what it is yet. We have other stuff. We have other stuff that's going to be coming out as well. We've been working really hard with this family. So you guys, if you can support this campaign for justice for Tammy, it is appreciated. You're talking about a family who went 5 years with no answer what happened to their little girl. And there's a mile long of suspect. Actually, a lot of the names that we had received through the EVP since the very beginning were actual names, people that were really to Tammy. So it reaffirms. A lot of people think that those boxes are radios and this, that thing, but I'm telling you personally that it scared the shit out of me. Excuse my language. The first time I picked that box up and it spoke to me directly, it scared me. And Lou's box, that one scares me even more because the first time he brought it upstairs into the kitchen, it didn't call me Mama Rock, me Janice Lynn. That is my real name. I damn near fell on the floor and I said to Lou, it said it twice. That thing away from me.
Well, guys, we are coming up on the 2-hour mark, so I am going to shut this down here in a few minutes. But before we go, guys, definitely get over to Mama Rock's channel. Subscribe to her if you're not already. Megan's blog. She's got some stuff coming up. You said you got some videos coming out too?
Yep. I'm doing some advice was given to me by a few people in my YouTube family. And they really want to see what it's like to be here at night So I'm going out
Oh.
actually tonight to film. I'm hoping, if all goes well, tonight I will go out. I got the camera ready and everything to go out and film some nighttime lights for you guys. Then you can
That's
see
gonna
why
be
we need a
awesome.
moon.
Good
That's
deal.
gonna be awesome.
Get a shot of the moon.
Guys,
If
make
you
sure
can
that
see
you're subscribed to Megan's blog, and Megan, type into the chat there so that they can get to your channel as well. You got 42
Ghost.
people in here.
Thank you for having us all up.
Hey, not a problem. And then there's JoJo Walker Unplugged. JoJo, what you got
Not
coming
here.
up?
That's my daughter.
Yes, I'm my daughter. Just whacked out Wednesday tomorrow, and I think Brian and I may be doing some filming this week during the day and that. Do some vlogs around the city and that.
Cool.
Go visit some cemeteries and whatnot. That's my life.
Awesome. Any particular topic for tomorrow night?
You know I never give that crap.
We just ad lib. We see where the chat takes us.
I always end up with a topic, and it never ends up on that topic by the end of the show. So
Yeah, but it's still crazy. It still gets crazy.
That's good for the gusto. That's about everybody. I know I started a live stream and said, okay, I'm going to do DVDs and I'm going to do cards. And Lou ends up walking into the room and we end up doing something different. It's you never know.
Well, guys, and again, I do say this at the end of the streams. If you like the content that we're putting out, feel free to drop super chats or hit up the PayPal. We are viewer funded. Like we was talking about earlier, YouTube doesn't pay that much anymore, like 3 cents a video or something like that. It's crazy, but we are viewer funded, and any contributions are greatly appreciated.
Wait.
As well. Yes.
7. Did you see the message there?
Happy anniversary.
What is
Thank
it?
you, Mom.
In 8 minutes, it's JoJo's and Brian's anniversary.
JoJo and Brian's 8 minutes. Nice.
They're past the 7-year itch, guys.
Yeah, and I haven't killed him yet, so we're good.
Well, it sounds like he got reminded now. So
no, actually, I got up and I went to the kitchen and I looked at him and I went 30 minutes. He goes, yeah. He goes, anniversary. And I was like, how do you know? And he goes, because I know.
He's a smart man.
Yes, indeed.
He wasn't last year.
Yeah, he missed it last year.
So he memorized it for this year.
Well, we've been harassing him for an entire year. So
Yeah, we have.
He's never going to forget it. He's never going to forget it now because he forgot last year.
All right. Well, guys, throw some emojis up there for Brian and JoJo. It is, you might as well say, it's their anniversary. By the time we end the stream, it will be their anniversary. So throw some emojis up there. Special shout outs to all my mods and Sharpshooter, the mod god, for dropping the links to the PayPals and all that good stuff.
All them good old, they got our backs always.
And well, thank you guys for coming up here and hanging out with me. And thank Mama Rock especially for standing in for Lou, who's feeling a little bit under the weather tonight. Throw up some prayer emojis for Lou.
I'll be up all night checking on him because he looked pale white.
Yeah, he didn't sound good when I talked to him earlier today. He sounded really tired. So
he said, Mom, I said, are you going to go into Ghost Live tonight? It's Tuesday. And he said, Mom, I'm sick. Like, what's wrong?
I told him earlier if he wasn't feeling up to it, it was cool. So
his stomach was bothering him. And we don't know if it's from something he ate. Like I said, this kid has been on a days on end working on videos, and I feel bad because he was putting mine together last night, and I think he's sheer exhausted, and he just doesn't want, his dream is so reach that he just doesn't want to even take a break, and he does need one. He does need one. Get mad at me for saying that, but I don't care.
He needs to take a break.
Yeah.
I told him the other day, I said, listen, you've got your second video. Mine's out of the way now. Let's take 3 days and just relax. You want to go on and just talk and live or something for a little while.
Well, I know that he's
Give it a
working
break.
on the third video now,
He is.
and I told him, I said, well, you know, when you're ready for it, send me a script and I'll do the voiceover for it.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. And I do know that
The third
now-
one's going to be the charm. Let me tell you.
well, now I know with the launch of the third one, and this has already been leaked, but Lou Rock is putting together a GoFundMe to raise money for the Tammy Lynn's family to hire a private investigator to get more answers in this case.
They
So,
need it. They need
when
it. We can't.
when this third one comes out, there will be some links with it for a GoFundMe if anybody wants to contribute to help out to get more answers, to get involved in this case, or you know, to just help out the family to get justice for Tammy Lynn.
Well,
There
what
will
it-
And for now, they can share out that second video, guys. Go and share out part two. Part two, more people need to see it. The first one,
Yeah.
a lot of people saw it. The second one, more people need to see that video. Don't be shy. Go and share it out. Go and put it on your Facebook.
Yeah,
on
we
your
need to
Twitter,
really
everywhere.
promote it.
People need to be aware of the situation.
What
They really do.
all of you need to be aware of is you are actually the ears and the eyes and the support of this family. They have been so ignored and so left with no answers and putting their hands out for anything, you know, that they could get to find out how did she die? Did she get hit by a car? Did she get murdered? None of those questions have ever been answered because right from the very beginning, it seems as though they took her body from where it was at, put her in the morgue, dragged everything from there. All right. From there, nothing went forward. Nothing. In fact, within 2 weeks, they're suspects. They were clearing them like that. And
I know that we actually covered this case on the missing over on Uber Goober's channel the other day. Lou couldn't be there for that one. I know that he had some appointments and things like that morning that he had forgotten about. And unfortunately, they didn't do the surgery that day. But
and I think
Well, he
that's a
was-
good reason why he's sick right now, because he's
yeah,
stuff going on in his body that just is foreign. And I think that it's been a long time. They made him wait 3 months to get in, dragged it on to another 2 weeks. Nobody knows really how much he has been suffering, but he has been suffering a lot. He's been, I'm proud of him. He does things, you know, with clear conscious and puts everything above himself, which I think I taught him that, you know, and I'm, like I said, I'm proud of him. I thank all of you guys for all of your support. This is his baby when it comes to Tammy, simply because he fell in love with Tammy and her story and how she was so ignored and just hung out there to dry. That's it. So when you support it, guys, go over, like Megan said, go over to the second video, share, do whatever you got to do. Let's get that out. Let's be the support for this family. When that third video comes out, there is going to be links on there. There'll be a GoFundMe link. There'll be a link to the police department. There'll be a link to here, to there, whatever we can do, because we're doing this. Detectives, they ignored us. They ignored this family. They told the family to go away, that they're never going to find the answer. 2 weeks before we put Allison on camera, the DA's office told her nothing will ever go anywhere if something new doesn't show up. It's a jungle. And thank you in advance for helping out. Ghost, thanks for helping me up here. Always at the last minute. I have a lot. Sorry about that.
that's all right. That's all right.
Mama's a windbag just before bed.
I'm gonna be ending this here in just a second, but I do know that Green Bay Wacky is still alive. So if everybody wants to go over there and tell them Ghost Mafia raid, that would be cool.
Let's
would
go
be
find
cool.
him.
We'll
Right,
go
let's
raid
check the
Green Bay Wacky.
Yep. If you put the link in, it's easier for me. I don't gotta go look.
So hashtag Mafia Raid or hashtag Ghost Mafia Raid. Go raid Green Bay Wacky, and we'll see you guys next week here on Question Everything. Good
Peace
night,
out.
everybody.
Angels on your pillow, guys.
Dog ham.